It's the Line Makers on Sporting News, presented by Jack Daniels. Hey folks, with Rick Herron, Brian Blessing here, the Line Makers on Sporting News. We're at the South Point Casino, the race and sports book, gearing up for another big week, week 3 in the NFL. This is one of our featured games of the week. The Detroit Lions, a 3.5-point favorite on the road at Tennessee. The total on the game is 47. Ricky, let's talk about this Lions team. Had such a great year last year. The problem is when teams out of nowhere blossom like that, they tend to regress. The Lions were life and death to win their first game against the Rams, hung with the Niners, but they're this close to being 0-2.
Oh, yes, they are. 10 seconds away from being 0-2 with a Matthew Stafford touchdown pass against the Rams in Week 1. They are 0-2 against the spread, but Week 2 was against that 49er team that looked so impressive, and it actually was a close game with the spread.
We've got a little wild card for you in this particular game, and believe me, the Line Makers are going to be watching this one closely. Mike LaShore makes his return to the lineup for the Lions, a team desperate for a running game. They've had such high hopes for him, Ricky. Hurt, never got on the field as a rookie, then suspended for the first 2 games this year. He's kind of an X factor. It'll be interesting.
He's an X factor, Brian. They haven't been able to run the ball, but they also worked out a couple of guys at running back this week, so maybe they're not so sure that he's the answer. The other side of the ball is the running game issues. Chris Johnson, 19 carries for 21 yards in 2 games. Guy that ran for 2,000 yards a couple of years ago.
Well, let's focus on Tennessee. If Johnson does not get things on track, it is going to be a brutally long year for Tennessee.
Yes, it is. And I said, you can look at this a number of ways. You know that I'm a guy that likes home dogs. In this case, I can't say I like Tennessee. They've been outscored 72-23 in 2 games. They got blown out by the Chargers last week, a team without Ryan Matthews and their best offensive weapon. Said they can't run the ball. And now they're going up against Matthew Stafford and company. It's a big game for Tennessee. If they don't win here, they get Houston next week. They could be 0-4. But I can't say I like the home dog in this spot.
Well, I think something to watch for here. Locker got the nod over Hasselbeck. But you're not just going to let a whole season fritter away, depending on what happens here. And you mentioned the tough test they've got the following week. Are we looking at a shorter leash for Locker?
They are saying in Tennessee that they are going to stick with Locker, but here's the key statistic in the game for me, Brian. Against the spread in 2 games, Tennessee is minus 38. They've been beaten, and they were a dog in both games, and they're minus 38 against the spread. I can't back them. I like the Lions.
Got to give it at least this much for Tennessee. You start at home with New England. You go cross country to play San Diego. You come home to Detroit. The schedule maker did him no favors.
It doesn't get a whole lot easier facing the Lions and Matthew Stafford in the passing game on Sunday.
Sounds like we're in agreement here.
I like the Lions.
Ditto. Lions 3.5-point favorites visiting Tennessee this week. Best of luck to you. We've got you covered. The Line Makers on Sporting News.